you, Chairman, and I welcome our witnesses. And from listening to the conversation, would it be possible to conclude that there's a need for an urgent high-level conference between the client and the contractor in this particular case, given the snags and delays that have taken place already and, from what we can gather, are likely to take place in the future? Is there such an imperative at the moment? I know you said that your door is always open, but I heard that phrase many times in my life before, and it certainly doesn't mean the same thing to me as it does to a lot of people. So the question is it now imperative to have a high-level conference between the client and the contractor?
If I would just, Deputy Durkan, just respond and say there have been a number of these types of discussions between, senior people from our board and myself included, and the contractors' senior team, at the most senior level, the head of UK and Ireland, who's responsible for this. So we've had a number of conversations, and they continue. Those conversations will continue. What happens at them?
What progress is being made?
Look, we're in a difficult place at the moment. I think it's fair to say, and we've reported that to you. Our challenge, we have been saying to BAM, our biggest problem is we can't come in here and tell this committee when this hospital is going to be finished. They control all the resources, they control the programme. That's their responsibility to tell us, and we can then tell you.
What excuses have they made in response? For example, and what recognition have you made of changing circumstances, extra costs, change in building materials, change in fitting out materials in the terms of cost? Have both sides agreed on the full extent of that? For example, in some building materials nowadays, and in some fitting out materials as well, the increase has been in the region of 35 to 40%. And I'm asking the question, has that been recognised and allowed in the context of the discussions with a view to reaching a meeting of minds on the issue?
Well, I think the goal, Deputy Durkan, is to, we have to find a better solution than the current impasse.
That's why I'm suggesting.
And I get, but in case there's, BAM, if BAM were sitting here today, they would be telling you that there are problems with the design and change and all of that.
Well,
there will always be an element of this on any project. Let me tell you, let me give you the metric. Right.
Well, let me give you another metric now before you give me that one. Hold on a second now. What value has been put on those changes? That's what I'm going to tell you. By each side.
So, the value, so the employer's representative has determined BAM's 1,487 of BAM's claims. They were claiming 609 million euros. That's what they say all these changes, these 1,487 claims are worth.
An independent arbitration, what did they say?
Not independent arbitration, but the employer's representative, is that correct, has awarded them 14 million. So less than 2% of their claim has been awarded.
Why was it not an independent arbitration?
This is a public works contract, right? So it bases itself, it is a public works contract, and it has all the elements of a public works contract. Why it doesn't have various things, it has what it has, and it has been live now for quite a number of years.
Well, the question that arises from that is, presumably there was a PC sum initially provided for, to the effect that in the event of there being X, Y or Z changes, X, Y or Z knock-on changes, for instance, that the contractor had no control over, how do you resolve those?
Well, we're way past those at this stage. So, in the original government approval, of the 1.433 billion, there was a contingency of amount of about 30 million euros.
Right.
That has been expended, right? So that's an issue. So I guess to say that
following that, did other issues arise that weren't included in that evaluation that could have added and will add to the cost?
Well, there are, as I said earlier to the members, we have submitted an updated capital request to the lead director, to the HSE's lead director. That captures all of the different cost categories, all of the different costs that we can see and budget and pull together, so that we believe we have, based on a number of assumptions, we believe we have a definitive cost to get this project to completion.
And that would involve the difference, it would reveal the difference between your position, or the client's position, and the contractor's position.
Not in relation to the 750 million of claims. That's a separate matter.
Why is it separate?
Well, as I said, we don't recognise that, right? We would refute the contractor's entitlement to all these. We are employed to robustly defend those matters.
Right.
So we're just...
But the point about it is this: a contractor for any project, no matter where it is, how big it is, or how small it is, may have particular issues that arise that were unforeseen and that do contribute to the cost. So are you saying, look, that's tough luck?
No, we're not saying it's tough luck. If the contractor has entitlements under the contract, they will be paid.
Right.
And if they have demonstrated those entitlements up to date, they have already been paid if that work has been done. They have already been paid money under the contract for those types of issues. What I'm not putting in here is what I regard and what we regard as this 750 million of exaggerated claims that we do not believe has a basis in fact.
Well, the exaggeration depends, of course, on who's talking.
Who's telling the story? Yeah,
that's correct. And what amount of arbitration went into balancing the one and the other. Well, that remains to be seen.
But we have a conciliation, rather than using the term arbitration. There is a conciliation process within the contract that is currently being used, and each one of these claims goes through that in a sequence.
Certainly, yeah.
And we have gone through 24 individual conciliations already, right? And as you know, there's 2,000 and something to go. Right, but that's where we're at in terms of the progress in dealing with these particular issues.
And what about resolving the smaller ones for a start?
Good work done on that. While even during the moratorium, we did with the contractor agreed to try to progress some of these smaller items.
The report that the progress report and completion date, etc., that you're waiting on next week, you're to receive that report. And what so far has been the response from the contractor on that?
There's been a lot of correspondence exchanged between the development board and the contractor. The employer's representative, who's the formal contract administrator, has also exchanged correspondence with the contractor, really informing the contractor and reminding them of their contractual responsibilities to submit a current compliant programme. So that is already there. In terms of, I have had, as I said earlier, a discussion yesterday on the telephone with BAM Ireland's chief executive, who said, we didn't get it to you last week, it's our intention to get it to you next week. That's what I've been told, and maybe I shouldn't report informal conversations, but that's the most up-to-date information, and I'm happy to share that with the committee.
And who will attend this? Presumably there's going to be a presentation or just a written?
It's a submission.
The
contract, sorry, Deputy, the contract sets out how this should work. There will be further discussions and engagements. There is a whole team on both sides. They have a programme team, BAM has, the development board has a programme team, and we have programme advisors. I've no doubt once we get this, there will be a lot of engagement. So that, we've done this multiple times already.
So all is not lost. Yes, is that true?
We will deliver this project. Just to be absolutely clear, this project will get done.
Yeah,
right. We have challenges in front of us at the moment. I have no doubt we will overcome those challenges and deliver this project.
The next week exchange of papers on the subject is fine, but at this stage I think it requires much more than that, and particularly from your own assessment of it and in your presentation.
And as I said, those escalations have happened and will continue to happen.
And at this stage, do you expect a response other than the written response from the contractors?
We have put our focus on the programme. Programme is where it's at. That is the magic that will unlock the plan from now to the end. That's our primary focus. So we will have, we have constant engagement with the contractor on all aspects of the project. Right, that's the nature of the engagement.
I'm aware of that, but don't forget that your own presentation, opening statement, would indicate that there are some considerable difficulties in the operation of the contract. And I'm not attributing blame to either side. Yeah. I'm merely saying that there appears to be an issue there that needs to be resolved.
Well, I tell you, Anna, we are. The door is open. I don't know how to put it slightly differently, but right. To say we are obviously and have been engaging and are willing to engage and re-engage with the contractor. Absolutely.